What's up, y'all? It's your boy SimplyFoodByTy, and today you better go on ahead and get your pen and notepad, because it's time to get back in the kitchen and get to cooking, honey. Alrighty, y'all, so the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to add in our ricotta cheese. So you're going to be adding in about 2 cups. Now, you want to make sure that this cream cheese here is at room temperature. I have an 8-ounce block, and we're only going to be using half of that, so about 4 ounces worth. You want to make sure that's at room temperature so that it's easier for you to cream these 2 things together. If that cream cheese comes directly out of the fridge, it's going to be solid rock, and you're going to have a pretty hard time mixing it together. Now, once you get that kind of, nice and smooth, the next thing you want to do is we're going to go ahead and add in our eggs. I'm going to be adding in 2 large eggs. I hope that everybody's having a great day. Now, after we add in these eggs, we're going to be adding in our seasoning. Now, this Italian seasoning that I'm using is an Italian seasoning blend that comes made by McCormick, and it's the one where you have to grind it. Now, I like using this particularly for this because it has bigger grains of the seasoning in it. So that's just a preference of mine, but you can use any type of Italian seasoning you can honestly get your hands on. That's completely fine. Then we're going to go ahead and add in our 2 cups of our shredded mozzarella. Then we're going to be adding in 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now, because, of course, we're going to be adding in all of these cheeses, you want to make sure that you're being very mindful of how much salt you're going to be adding. We're going to be adding in some sausage to this recipe as well, so don't go too crazy when it comes to adding the salt. So I'm going to add in some black pepper. That's maybe about a teaspoon, a little bit more. Just depends on how much black pepper you like, and just a small pinch of kosher salt. You're going to give that a really good mix around, and that's pretty much kind of the base for the ricotta mix. Now, the next thing I like to do is just a preference of mine, because I actually don't like my baked ziti with a lot of tomato sauce. So what I use is the Classico tomato herb and spices, and I use only about a half a cup. And I'm going to be adding that directly to this mix specifically so that you can have the tint of tomato, but it won't seem overpowering. I'm not too keen on a lot of it, so that's why I don't add that much. I've also added in about 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now, of course, that's optional. You don't have to add that, but I do like that tinge of sweetness to the overall dish. It won't make the dish that sweet, but it'll have a little hint of sweetness, so you can omit that if you don't want to have that in there. Now, you're going to mix that up. Now, y'all, I ended up ordering all of this stuff via Instacart because, I'm not trying to go in grocery stores right now. And I put on the list that I needed Italian parsley. Tell me why the girl brought cilantro. I was hot. So I'm going to be using dried parsley because that's all I had on hand. That was about 2 tablespoons. But if you're able to get your hands on some fresh Italian parsley, and you're going to be adding in a nice handful of that. Because I'm using the dried, I'm only using about 2 tablespoons. So that's pretty much all that you need for that. So what you're going to do is plop that in the fridge so that all of those seasonings can mix together. And then we'll take that back out a little bit later on. So now let's work on the meat. Now I'm going to be adding in 1 package of spicy Italian sausage. You can use mild, you can use sweet, it's up to you. I prefer the spicy just because it adds a little bit more flavor to the dish. Now, in this particular recipe, I'm not using sausage and ground beef. I'm only using sausage. And this 1 package, to me, in my personal opinion, is more than enough. I'm not making a large baked ziti, so to me, it doesn't need to be overpowered with a lot of ground beef and pork. Now, once you get that all cooked down, make sure it's fully cooked, of course. Then you're going to make sure you crumble it up into as small as you possibly can, almost into a really nice mince. And then I'm going to be adding in the last half a cup of the exact same sauce that we added to the ricotta mixture. So in total, you will have 1 full cup of this tomato sauce, and that's it. Now, like I said, if you want, you can add a lot more, but I personally don't like it that way. So, like I said, I added a half a cup to the ricotta mixture, and now I've added a half a cup to the meat, and that's really about it. I'm gonna let that cook on low just for an additional maybe I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, and then you can turn that off, and then you can set that to the side as well. Now that part of the recipe is done. Of course, you want to get yourself a large pot, make sure the water's boiling, add in a tinge of salt. Again, make sure you're not going too crazy with the salt, but of course, you want to make sure that your pasta is seasoned. So I added in a small pinch of kosher salt. Cook that till it's about al dente. Don't fully cook it because you are going to bake it. Once that's done, we're going to add it to a larger bowl so that we can mix everything together. So we've added in our pasta, we've added in our spicy sausage with that 1/2 cup of tomato sauce, which you can see has kind of really soaked into that sausage nicely. It's not a lot of loose tomato sauce, which is exactly what I want. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start adding in the ricotta mixture. You guys, this is so easy to make. It's not complicated at all. I have another recipe on Baked Ziti on my channel as well. But this one I'm just going to be doing in my Dutch oven. And now we're just going to give this a good mix around so that you can make sure that that mixture gets inside of the noodles and, you know, make sure all the noodles are completely coated. This is going to add so much seasoning, and trust me, it's not under seasoned at all. So don't feel like you need to add a bunch of other stuff. I didn't even add any garlic to this, but that's because of the marinara sauce that I used. It's so good that it doesn't really bother me. Now I'm going to be layering mine, and because it's not as much as it may seem, I'm just going to do 2 layers, and that's completely fine. Now this part, of course, is optional. You do not have to do this. I'm going to be adding in some, this is like a triple cheddar cheese blend that I'm using, and then also some mozzarella. Again, you don't have to use either of those cheeses or any additional cheese at all. You could have just poured all of that directly into the pan, baked it with a little cheese on top, and called it a day. But you know me, that's just what I like to do. Then make sure you have your oven preheated at about 350 degrees. This will not take long to cook. Everything in this is pretty much fully cooked, honestly, besides at this point melting the cheese in the last few minutes on that pasta, which is the reason why you want to make sure that the pasta is al dente so that you don't overcook it and it doesn't just turn into mush. Now, one of the best things about having it in the Dutch oven is that you're going to get those beautiful crispy cheese marks around the rim. That's what I love the most. So like I said, we're going to pop that in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and then it's going to come out beautiful, just like this. Now, of course, if you want yours to have a bit more of a golden color or browned for that mozzarella cheese, by all means, you can leave yours in a little bit longer. Now, if I were you, I would let this sit for just about 10 minutes or so that it can rest. And bitch, when you pull this up out of the pan, it is absolutely everything. Serve it up with a Caesar salad, get yourself some garlic bread. But I'm trying to tell you, this baked ziti is absolutely everything, and it takes barely any time at all to make. It feeds quite a few people, and like I said, that was only 1 box of pasta. That was only 1 package of sausage, and it's not like it's missing any meat in it at all. You know, it's completely mixed throughout, which is why it's so important to mix it before you put it in the pan so that there can be a little bit of everything in every single bite. Look, if you are new to my channel, welcome to Simply Food by TY. If you're one of my returning subscribers, well, y'all babies know I love y'all so much. And as always, y'all babies stay cute and take care. Bye, guys. Enjoy.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food.